Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I have an excellent positional game to share with you from 1959. On the white end, 16-year-old Bobby Fischer playing against international master and, at the time, 5-time Colombian champion Luis Sanchez. He won the Colombian championship in 1938, 47, 48, 54, 58, and a few years after this game was played, in 1962. We have Ruy Lopez, and to be a bit more exact, we're looking at a closed system. Now, move number 9 coming up here for black, this moment here, plays knight d7, a couple other popular options at this stage, knight a5, knight b8, clearing the way for the c pawn to contribute. All right, in this one, the king-knight drifts towards the queen side, and Fischer seeks clarity here, releases this tension. Other moves include queen e2. These three I'm mapping out are considered top. All right, d takes e in this one, knight takes, knight exchange, and no queen exchange. Certainly seems to make sense, flying out here to the king side. No king-knight around holding up that move anymore. Fischer will provoke multiple king-side weaknesses here and take full advantage of them. Very instructive play. Follow-up is bishop f6. Computers attracted to this maneuver, challenging the queen. All right, in this one, bishop f6, knight d2, queen challenged, queen f3, and queen e7. Okay, some room is now made for the knight. Wants that f3 square. Queen kicked to h2. This post is short-lived. Not sure how much is really accomplished there by including bishop h4. It simply returns at this stage. Knight f3, bishop e6, and this is one of the moments in the game that stuck out to me. We have here the offer of a good bishop for a very active bad bishop. Fischer declines this trade, plays bishop c2. So I was wondering why this is the case. Why not just go ahead and exchange light square bishops? Well, a train of thought may be that the black queen now takes up an excellent post, replaces that light square bishop quite well. Very active piece. No, there isn't, it's not a situation here, let's say, for white where, okay, if I go for a light square bishop exchange, I'll be able to now capitalize on some holes, some light square holes in black's camp. They don't really exist, at least on the king side. No light square weaknesses at this moment. For right now, Fischer avoids the light square bishop exchange. Continuing, we have bishop d7, bishop h6, rook e8, h4, nearby h5. This is allowed in this game, and once posted there, it will create further weaknesses on black's king side, beyond these two dark square holes. Now in the game, bishop g7 is played. A top move is bishop g4, pressure on the knight, and holds up this h5 idea. In this one, bishop g7. Fischer avoids this dark square bishop exchange. It says you could play by capturing and then carry on with h5. In a way, Fischer wants it all. Let me preserve my good bishop with tempo, and I'm still looking forward to playing h5. Black plays f6 here. Fischer provoking another weakness, in this case, e6 is now a hole. Bishop goes home. Doesn't stay developed. e3, not stable. Follow-up from here is bishop f8. Yet again, computer looking to prevent this h5 idea by playing, in this case, h5. Not how black plays it. It's bishop f8, H5 allowed, H file ready to be opened up. Black doesn't want to see that, so keeps things closed with G5. Downside, F5 is now whole. This is really the key weakness from this point on. White has support for a piece once there. These next few moves, Fischer's looking to simply maneuver the knight to this F5 square, knight G4 E3, and there you go. Now after this last move H6, let me just note, on White's end, there is not a single hole. Black cannot say the same. All of these squares I'm highlighting are holes on Black's king side. Big difference in king safety here. Follow up knight G4, queen F7, queen F3, H5 indirectly defended. Big fork in the air with knight F6, bishop G7, knight E3, bishop E6, knight F5. From here, bishop F8 is played. Very risky to swipe this A-pawn. Open file for the rook, restriction on the black queen. It's saying develop here. Look at a capture on B6, knight D6 fork to follow. I tested out a move where you avoid the bishop for knight exchange, falling back to D7, and this sequence showed up. Pretty neat one. Exchange sacrifice, followed by queen going back home. Pretty cool double attack on the knight, and bishop B3 is going to hurt. Anyhow, risky to grab the A-pawn. We have bishop F8. B3, no jumps on C4 now for black. Rook A D8, bishop E3, and from here rook D7 is played. It wants to challenge the knight straight away. It's drawn to this maneuver, not how black plays it. It's rook D7. From here queen H3 is played. At first glance seems a bit awkward. Knight in a pin there. The idea behind it will be revealed soon enough. At the top it says exchange bishop for knight. Pull that C pawn away. New holes are created in black's position after that capture. Two big light square weaknesses, and it wants to follow that capture with B4. Now looking forward to a light square bishop exchange. The exchange of light square bishops will mean that this knight on F5 increases in value. Has excellent jumps. E3, D5, G4. All very good options there. Okay, we don't see that. Instead, it is queen H3. From here, king H7. Pretty much lost after this. It yet again wants to go for this maneuver, not how black plays it. We have instead king H7, and now the idea behind queen H3 revealed here. We have bishop D1. Trying to get that light square bishop exchange in there. This diagonal has opened up now for the bishop after queen H3. Knight C8 only now. Bishop G4, knight D6, pop quiz. How would you respond here? Pause the video if you'd like. Okay, another key moment in this game, positional decision here. Fischer withdraws his knight. Knight G3 played. This is top. Now, this path here, exchanging knights, light square bishops, queens, for sure white is still the better side, has the better bishop. But you can do better. And better in this case would be to preserve a piece that can still look forward to taking advantage of these light square weaknesses. The knight is the piece that I'm speaking of. It's the knight exchange is avoided for the moment. We get the light square bishop exchange in, a queen exchange in, and we play this ending where the knights are still around. Now let's compare each, throw each under the microscope. Whose stands better? Normally, you would think it's black's knight because it's in this area in the center. But But that's not the case here. This knight interferes with every black piece. They're all sort of competing for that d6 square. The only thing that's obstructed here for white with the knight on g3 is a silly g-pawn, which is pretty much insignificant. This knight does not want to be here. It's also, an open file. As soon as it moves, this knight's eyes open up. That jump on f5, certainly dangerous in plenty of cases. Uncomfortable position here for black. Let's keep a piece around that could take advantage of that weakness. Okay, from here, rook e to d1, not the queen rook. Queen rook has a different idea. Okay, there was a pin there. Knight was pinned. Has a jump now to defend the rook. a4. That's why we keep the queen rook right there. The a file is ready to be peeled open. There's nothing that black can do here. This is lost. Black continues to get squeezed in this game. Follow-up is b takes a. Black takes on split pawns, isolated pawns. If you play it in a different way, let's say you move the king towards the center, at least start to move it towards the center. This a file opens up, rook activity. This is still going to be a problem for black. All right, black's idea. Let me initiate an exchange on a4. I'll take on the isolated pawns, and I'll now have my rook defend a6. Okay, nice follow-up here, rook d5. Taking the you take me approach. What is black supposed to do here? In the game, we have rook c6. If black captures on d5, awesome. 2 squares now for this knight. Also, the rook is hit, and it has a responsibility. It's running out of squares. This is the only safe square if you still want to defend a6, and you can now forget about it. Rook officially kicked from defending the a-pawn. D-pawn definitely poison. Killer fork in the air. Black cannot afford to open up this big square for the knight. Another way to look at it, white has a healthy queenside majority. Black's majority unhealthy. How do you ever get this pawn rolling? Not a good idea to initiate this exchange, nor is it a good idea to challenge this rook with c6. Now, white would exchange rooks, and then you can take on a6. Pawn interferes with the rook's defense. Difficult spot for black. We have rook c6, c-pawn defended, king g8, c5. Love this move. This is clearing the way for a rook b4 move. Bishop doesn't watch that square anymore. Also rook c4 move in some cases. There's nothing black can do here. He's in a giant knot. Follow-up is king f7. Now if we try something else, let's say rook exchange here, the pawn recaptures, you're on the rook is trapped at that point. Out of squares. If you go with knight captures pawn, that hangs the rook. Finally, bishop captures pawn, white can play rook c4. And what do you do about this pin situation? b4 nearby. This is a win for white. Okay, how black plays it. King f7, rook b4, knight hit, knight has a responsibility. Black has to now go into this self-pin. Rook b8. Rook check. No longer contesting the d file. Rook now improves. White is playing on 7 ranks here. Black 3. Not a single black pawn is on white side of the board. Look at these invasive pawns. Okay. Follow up. Rook b6. Black is running out of moves. There really isn't anything that you could do here. I tested out a5, so what? Rook b5. What's your next move? There isn't a good move. completely bottled up. The try here is with rook b6. There's a couple ways you can approach this. You can take with the rook and then recapture with the pawn. You win a pawn. You have a passed b pawn that is 2 steps away from queening. Fischer's approach, let me take with the c pawn and then take black's c pawn. And now I'm just a single step away from promotion, and I have a convenient defender in my rook. From here, rook c8, knight f5, monster. Mating nets right around the corner. You want to challenge this knight now with knight d6, game over. This is all it takes, a knight and a rook, and black is going to get mated. The play from here, bishop f8, g4, from here knight a5 is played. Now, with g4 in there, white has more control over this f5 square. Why might this be relevant? Well, if this knight now challenges the knight on f5, there's bishop c5. You want to take the knight? We're now looking at checkmate. Tough situation for that black king. Okay, black's approach is knight a5, b4, and black captures the pawn here. If the knight goes back to where it came from, let's say went to b7 instead, a way to improve is to play king g2, saying, should we ever get into some race position, okay, you're not going to be queening now with check. If play continued here with bishop captures pawn, it says you could go in for rook captures h now. Give up the c pawn. There is a passed h pawn white can now work with. There's bishop g5 in this position as well. You're on f6 there. This is a win for white. Also, rather than the move in the game, bishop captures pawn, if this knight goes to, let's say, c6, there's bishop c5. Now what? Dark square bishop exchange. There's no rook e7 mate. This knight has it covered, but what is not covered, now that there isn't a dark square bishop around, is this d6 square. Knight's going to jump there, challenge the blockader. There's nothing black can do about this. So I played out this sequence right here. Yeah, you're lost. You're nowhere close here. White is not only ready to play c8 equals queen for mate, but how about an under promotion to a bishop for mate? That's how restricted this king is. Anyhow, problems however you look at it, black's decision after b4 is to capture the pawn. Final pop quiz. What move would you play here? Pause the video if you'd like. Okay, there's more than one winning path, but the final move to this game is bishop d2, and black resigns. Classic deflect the defender tactic. Bishop has a responsibility. Have to defend the mate threat. No time to take the bishop. If the bishop moves, the knight falls. If you defend the bishop, well, it's going to be captured. You're not really defending. Yet again, we have that mate idea. What a piece this knight right here turned out to be. Took a lot of work to get this piece established on f5, first creating holes, then withdrawing the knight to g3, light square bishop exchange, and only some moves later, getting back to that fantastic square, setting all these difficult problems for black. Mate threats on e7, the main one. Anyhow, your thoughts with this one, feel free as usual to leave any feedback to this video in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe took a thing or two away. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.